Hey family, how you guys doing? Welcome to Phie.Love Intuitive Conversations. I hope you guys are good. Yeah. If you like my content, please do like, share, and subscribe. And yeah, if there's any negativity, if there's any hate, please do keep that on your side of the street, okay? Won't be acknowledged. So, family, in this video, I'm being guided by Spirit to talk a bit about us maintaining our boundaries, right? So we reach time in our lives where we go through our phases of transition, and a lot of the time when it's phases of transition we're going through that are actually triggered by the universe, that period of transition has us in a place of needing to maintain our boundaries, right? Because that period of transition has probably consisted of us creating boundaries within ourselves against certain things and aspects and energy that we possess and have going on within ourselves, and also people on the outside of us who are part of a collective energy that we're kind of moving our engagement away from, right? Because maybe, there's an energy within us that made engagement with a certain kind of lower level of our human collective energy possible. What do I mean by that? You might, on the surface level, it might look like we are putting up boundaries towards this person and that person and that person. But when you take it a little deeper and try and look at things beyond the physical veil, beyond the flesh, you'll realize that there's a kind of pattern, there's an energy signature among the kinds of people that energy signature, as well as a behavior, right? An energy that displays or shows itself in a certain as a certain behavior in the physical realm, within a collective of people that you may find yourself having to put boundaries up towards, right? So from my own experience, I know that being in the transition phase, where you're actually having to maintain boundaries at the same time within yourself, as well with the people that you've awakened to certain things about them, that have brought you to the point of having to put a boundary up, make a decision to no longer have them in your life, make a decision to not allow yourself or your energy to participate in whatever it is they might have going on, or maybe even using your energy as your energy or your resources as a supply in some way, shape, or form, right? Now, I know from my own experience that the transition phase and maintaining the boundaries in the beginning can be an extremely challenging thing, especially after maybe a little bit of time has gone by and you start moving into a place where you're questioning yourself and wondering, was I a little too harsh? Am I being too harsh? Am I making the right decision? You start doing this backtracking thing where the other part of you that is negotiating with an energy that's probably pulling on your energy to agree with it to come back, because you consciously and energetically creating a boundary is definitely felt on the other end, and that kind of triggers people into, like I've said before, trying to come back and push against the boundary you might have put up, or try to fill the gap of distance that you're trying to create between yourself and somebody else, and hopefully have that energetic cord dissipate over time. So trust, I understand that the transition phase can be difficult, and maintaining the boundary and sticking to your commitment is, it requires energy, it requires awareness, it requires commitment, and also you being aware of your own energy, being aware of the decisions you've made, being aware of why you've made the decision, and understanding that in every single moment of yourself living in a decision, you're making the decision because you're choosing yourself and you're choosing a different version of a future that doesn't, resemble what you've come from or exist in the same vibration or energy or imbalance that you might have come from. In whatever way that the, energies or people of your past that you've put distance between yourself and them may have brought to your life, right? So when you stick to your commitment, when you choose yourself, right, the more you say no to an energy, because as you go through this process of creating boundaries, what becomes hard is when they're pulling on your energy in the energetic space. Because remember, everything happens spiritually and energetically first before it actually happens in the physical realm. And if you're able to separate yourself and recognize your own energy, I've spoken about this in great detail in some of my older videos. But when you're able to recognize the difference between your own energy and someone else's, when you are in your phase, in your transition phase of trying to hold your boundaries in place, trying to make sure that you're showing the universe that you're taking yourself seriously, you want the universe to take you seriously, and you also want the people on the outside who you've put boundaries up towards, or who you've started training into a new way of behavior and treating you, to respect you. Now, when you start giving in or starting to agree with the energetic negotiations that happen, because what happens is their projection and their pull on your energy is looking for your energy to agree with it. And once your energy agrees with it, it starts amplifying and building the energy and bringing it into the physical realm. However, you can stop that before it actually comes into the physical realm if you're aware and understanding of what is you and what is someone else. What decision have you made? Why have you made your decision? Stand in your ground and stand in your energy. If you know what you're standing for, you won't fall for anything. You won't give in to anything. You won't just, backtrack on what you've decided, backtrack on a boundary, backtrack on something you've decided, because you're actually moving into a space in your life where, you're putting your own value and your own self-worth ahead of the emotions and the demands and the needs and the neglect for who you are by others, right? Might be a lot to take in and a lot to digest, but when you become self-aware, you recognize there's more than just the physical aspect to things. The energetic aspect plays a very big role, right? So okay, so they're showing me a like a running switchboard, right? Now every time you say no to an energy, it's like another switch. It's like switches, and then there's like a fade, right? And every time you say no, the universe amplifies you asserting no against an older energy, against an old collective energy, against an old energy that exists within a person, right? So as you say no, this is all figuratively, a switch goes up and the universe moves you further out, fading you out further from that old energy that you used to exist with and exist in, right? And as the next switch goes up because you've said no to the energy, the universe moves you further, fading you into a new energy that will eventually fade you right into your new timeline and new experience, right? I hope the visual is making sense. It doesn't just happen at the moment you make a decision, but the more you commit, the more you build the energy, build the boundary, the energy of that boundary, so that it also translates in the energetic field of the next person that, okay, there's a change in energy and dynamic between me and this individual. It has no choice but to also reflect and respond in the physical realm that way. But it's up to you to stick to your commitment, right? Because the universe can't also work with you when you're in a wishy-washy place, when you're 1 foot in, 1 foot out, indecisive, unsure. One moment for 1 week you're saying you know, I'm choosing myself, I'm making this decision. But then someone else's energy comes in and suddenly you're indecisive, you're not sure. Maybe it's just a drink, maybe it's just a blunt, maybe it's just a conversation, maybe it's just a phone call. It wouldn't hurt. No, it matters. The universe needs you to assert yourself, so that if you want the universe to back you up and support you, then you co-create the new experience. You need to also back yourself up and support yourself. And how it works is when that is asserted energetically in the universe, they amplify that for you. And the further along you are within your fade out, moving into your new fade in with the new energy and the new timeline, the universe will support you in sticking to your decision and keeping people away. By when those energies try to come back, the universe will amplify the aspects within them. And the further you move along, it'll be energetically. In the beginning, you might see it in your physical realm, right? The universe will amplify their behavior, amplify the way they affect you and your energy, and also support you by amplifying your repel and your energy of irritation towards that, which in turn assists you in keeping your decisions in place and staying focused on moving forward, right? What I this past week, I heard Mercy say, I'm talking now with regards to wanting, being pulled back into old into old energies and old groups of people. She said, was something that I watched earlier this week, and she said, if you're gonna hang around hoes, you need to think like a hoe, right? And if you want to impress those hoes, you need to be a better hoe. Now, that is speaking to a collective energy. You could be breaking off from what they would call a hoe energy, right? A whole energy that exists within a collective of people that you used to resonate with, a collective of people that you used to be a part with. It might be a little bit mean, but it's the example that was brought to my mind, right? So don't backtrack, family. If you've made your decisions, if you've started moving forward, if you're beginning to build your energy and moving into a place where you're embodying a new energy, don't fall back. I've told you before, fall forward, okay? I know it's difficult. I know it takes a lot. I know it takes a lot of energy, and sometimes even isolation. Those people that you've created boundaries towards, to some degree, yes, as you know, you also gained something out of being in their energy. Maybe it was attention, and now the attention has subsided, and for some time you're feeling a bit lonely. But it's all a part of the transition process. And best believe that you'll know the universe and your ancestors and the divine are supporting you. And once you've moved into a new energy, you will just see how they will guide the right person, the right people who are a part of your new timeline, a part of your higher energy, a part of, people who exist in the same mind of self-love and self-worth and respect, who will respect you, and your position that you hold for yourself, as much as you will understand to respect the next person's. Whereas older energies, they don't fully well, not older, but lower vibrational energies, or energies that were guided to leave behind over time, within our lives. They don't understand certain things. They're takers. They don't respect boundaries. They have energies of entitlement in different ways and shapes and forms attached to their, to their way of being and their collective energy. There's no boundaries. They don't respect boundaries. They So another aspect to consider with it, right, is even those energies that you've put your boundaries up towards. You may put your boundary up and, feel a little bit lost and like, oh my gosh, I've put up this boundary and it just feels like I'm not getting anywhere. You're getting somewhere. But also, the more aware you become, understand that with certain people in your life, certain energies that the universe guides you to put a boundary up towards, right? You have cycles with those people. Generally, with people that the universe tries to break off your energy, or the divine tries to move you away from, you're bound to cycles with those people. You might find that you're in a cycle with a specific person who comes around every time they're going through something, every time they need some money, every time they have an issue with their girlfriend or with their boyfriend, right? Now, you might have put the boundary up, you might have put the distance up between the two of you, but in order to solidify you saying no to that specific person, you changing the cycle, you changing the energy, you building a new energy, the universe is going to, have a few cycles of that come around. So let's just say the universe for the universe to be convinced that you're sticking to your commitment, they will have this person, they will maybe have you go through 3 cycles of saying no to this person. So you put the boundary up, and then the universe waits for this person to go through something, and in their mind, their cycle is to call you, right? Call you and, bitch and moan, or, get themselves tapped into your energy somehow, get resources from you, get advice from you, get this, whatever it might be. The universe wants to see you say no. The universe wants to see you not answer that call. The universe wants to see you choose yourself. The universe wants to see you recognizing the behavior or energy or cycle that exists between you and someone else, and wants to know and see that you assert that you actually want to change the cycle or release the cycle completely. And it's not about the next person changing. You can't change the next person. You can only have control over yourself and where you decide you want your life to go, and what is right and what isn't going to work for what or who or whatever plans, whatever you're building, or whatever it is that you're being led to or guided to, or that you've already started working on, right? So then you say no to it, they'll wait for it to happen again, because best believe people work in cycles, be it with addictions, be it with relationship cycles, be it with, arguing. You may have a certain argument cycle with somebody. You may have a trigger cycle with somebody where they trigger something in you. There's a cycle of how they trigger you. All of these things are part of you actually going within and, taking accountability and looking at yourself and investigating your dynamic with somebody. What is the cycle of the imbalance? Where is the universe maybe trying to bring balance to me by having me release a person, place, or thing? What cycle could I be, or the universe be trying to break here, so that I can elevate and have that removed from, that tentacle removed? Other people have calling cycles that they, that people who are still attached to your energy, and you might have somebody who calls themselves your friend, who still somehow pulls on your energy every now and then. But the universe really gets to the point, where their presence and their energy is unnecessary. However, you're stuck in a cycle with them actually, thinking about you every 3 to 6 months. You've decided this is a person who also is a part of an old collective energy that you're trying to move away from. Now, the universe is going to wait for at least maybe 2 or 3 cycles of you saying no to that phone call, not answering that phone call. And, and again, that's the running switchboard, right? As you say no, you keep on fading more and more and more and more out of that energy and fading in to a new energy. And once once the universe is satisfied, you're going to have that extra support when those energies keep trying to come back. But by the time that support comes, you're going to realize that they won't even be showing up in your physical experience anymore. You'll be picking them up in your energy. They'll maybe come to your mind. They might still be going through that cycle of thinking about you and wanting to tap into your energy, or call, or get into an argument, or call you up for some resources, or you're the person who they think of when they're down and out. Like, there's cycles. If if they need a smoking buddy, or whatever it is, it's different for everybody, right? Once you've faded in enough and the universe is satisfied with how you've asserted yourself and built your energy enough, they will come in and support. And like I said, it may not even show up in your physical experience anymore. It may just be something you pick up in your energetic space by way of thought, or something in your environment might just remind you of them. But that's just energy showing itself and making you aware. But again, depending on how aware and tapped in you are, how grounded you are, all of that will depend on how potent your communication is with the universe, and how aware you are of your environment actually being alive and working for you. Okay. So I hope this has all made sense. And don't backtrack. Okay. Protect your progress. There's another video in the past I made around protecting your progress. And don't feel like all your efforts and things that you're doing and the decisions you're making are in vain and are not going anywhere. You've still got your life ahead of you. You're going somewhere, okay? But in order to give you a different experience, the old experience needs to transform or completely just fade away. In other instances, it gets cut away, like traumatically. Traumatically. Okay. So, yeah. Let me pull a card, family, and wrap up the video. I'm going to pull today from flower therapy. Okay, I was asking if I should use the other one. They say no, stay to flower therapy. So let's see what Spirit has to support us, support our conversation, or give somebody who's watching our video a nudge in a specific direction, okay? Let's see. Now, piece of one card, Spirit. Thank you. Trust. Trust. Okay. Don't doubt. I know, okay, that you can move into a place of doubt. You can move into a place of wondering if you're making the right decisions. You stop worrying about the next person's feelings and the next person's emotions. Understand that at some point as well, they will have to elevate, and they will have to just also respect your boundaries, respect the new dynamic that you're creating, and yourself as well. Recognize that by you having boundaries, by you sticking to your commitments, by you not backtracking on your decisions, by you committing to yourself and your own personal transformation for yourself internally, by you trying to move into a new energy and embody a new energy and transform your outside life, you want the universe, the world that you are existing in, to take you seriously, to respect you, and as well that will transform and translate as well in your own energy and the maturity that you exude. And that only happens by sticking to your commitment and maintaining and holding your boundaries in place. And underdeveloped energies don't understand boundaries. It starts becoming like a fucking kindergarten, where they just there's no self-awareness and no control. It's just all over the place. Emotions all over the place. Decisions are ungrounded. Emotional decisions are made. There's just a whole lot of fidgety and chaotic energy. The moment you start cleansing your space and maintaining your boundaries and sticking to your commitments and taking yourself seriously, so can the universe and whatever environment on the outside that's being created for you. You have partners then who start taking you seriously. You start becoming, more picky. You should be picky with the kind of partners you bring in and how they respect you and your boundaries and your decisions and your resources. If you don't protect your boundaries, your energy and your resources, how can you expect somebody else to take you seriously and protect it as well with you? Or at least respect it and not, feel that you're the person that they can just take a chance with. You're the person that will bend. You're the person who can be manipulated. Having boundaries and saying no doesn't make you any less of a caring person, doesn't make you any less of a giving person, but it makes you a person whom people will know energetically first and in the physical realm that they can't just walk over and take advantage of. Don't find pride in being the go-to person. There's nothing noble about that, and you don't get brownie points from the universe or from the divine by being the go-to person. Because being the go-to person just means that people will choose you over the others who are more challenging to give in to their wants, demands, and their need for energy and supply or whatever it might be, resources. Okay. Don't be too nice and don't be too accommodating. Okay. You're gonna be okay. Trust. The card says you can trust the people around you. They are earth angels sent to give you the guidance you seek. Okay? Everything's gonna be fine. You're not alone. And the more you're able to be comfortable and not need that verbal, physical, and reassurance from all the people and things on the outside, it really does a lot for you and your energy. And it garners respect. it doesn't make you an ugly person. It makes you a person to be respected and a person to be taken seriously. And a person who people will think 2 or 3 times before they actually see you as their way out, before deciding to rely on themselves, right? It's okay to put the responsibility that is not yours into the lap of the people who it belongs with. Leave that Captain Save-A-Ho shit. Leave it alone. Anyway, let me see what the book has to say and close off the video. Trust. Oh, and the flower is the carnation. Can you see that? The carnation. Okay. Trust. The people in your inner circle are trustworthy and honest. And your inner circle, when we talk spiritually, is also your divine family. It's your ancestors. It's your people with you in the disembodied realm. Okay. And whoever they guide to you as well. They were dispatched to your side by divine grace to be your earth angels, to get you through the situation you're in. You can rely on them to help you, and it's safe for you to lean on them for support. These trusted friends are speaking to you from a place of compassion. So listen to what they have to say. They're delivering the guidance you're asking for. This card may also mean that the true intentions of your relationship will be revealed. It's okay to trust these feelings. Your angels fine-tune your body so it acts as an internal lie detector. What did I say? The universe will amplify things within you and amplify things in others so that you can pick up energetically as well as physically and through your interaction with them what it is that you need to keep your boundaries up towards, okay, and commit to your decision. Your feelings are not meant to hurt you or make you worried. They are only telling you what you already know in your heart. Additional meanings to this card. Decide if this person is the one. You're attracting your soulmate. Your relationship is working out positively. That aligned perfectly. Thank you, Spirit. Anyway, family, I hope it resonated with you, and I hope it's in some way, shape, or form helped you stick to your decisions and not backtrack. And if you're falling again, fall forward. Okay, fall forward and then get up onto your knees, stand up, and keep moving forward. Everything's gonna be okay. I'm here too. Okay. I'll see you in the next video, family. Bye.